Okay, so how are we feeling? Are we okay to continue? Okay. Yeah, I think this is probably the important part that I want on YouTube. I don't know how the other footage is, but yeah, we'll see. So, life after university. This is something I custom made for this. Yeah, once again, that is my social media handle, EAS Toronto. Pretty much on every single social media. TikTok is also there. LinkedIn is also there. You can find me on LinkedIn. And yeah, that's my name, Tezor Mogas. So I made this all about like the must-haves, what I've seen so far in 30 years of like people that are successful. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's what I've observed personally. So, yeah. The wow factor. Yes. So what do I mean by the wow factor? I really mean like, and it's applicable to all professions. It really is. Um, yeah, here I put an example of Blackberries and iPhones. I don't know if you guys are too young for Blackberries. Anyone have Blackberry back in the day? No? Yes. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Blackberries, they used to have 50% of the market share, and they were always cheaper than Apple devices. Apple is usually the most expensive. But yeah, pretty much 50% of the market share. And Steve Jobs, who was a creator of Apple, every single interview that he had was about like, why do you want to create phones? There's so much competition. BlackBerry has 50% of the market share. Everyone already has a BlackBerry. BlackBerry is already cheaper, always cheaper. But I think in one of the interviews he said he feels he has something that Apple can contribute to mobile devices. And yeah, it really shows you that being the cheapest is not always the pathway to success with phones. It's really about innovation and connectivity. So I think Apple does connectivity probably better than everyone else. Some people don't like it, but a lot of people actually pay for it. It's 6:30. Oh, 6:30. Now we know the time. So yeah, actually, in this Fortune magazine, I believe, oh yeah, 2009, hard to see. Yeah, 2009. So this was like BlackBerry looked unbeatable in 2009. And they had a check mark here. They had apps, keyboard, business tools, wow factor. And here they had with the iPhone, they had the apps and the wow factor. So that's actually where I got the idea of wow factor. So yeah, it really is important to have something that is differentiated. And I would say Apple, I don't know, I'm a fan of Apple, but they really come out with value adding innovation almost every week. So I really think you can apply that to any profession, no matter what you end up doing once you leave this place. Um, yeah, innovation comes from all sources. It comes from external sources and it also comes from within. So really everything that you know, everything that you've learned comes from external sources. So really who you associate with is very important too. So yeah, always look for the innovation in order to have that wow factor. So basically the bottom line of the wow factor is to be exceptional. Really, there are some instances where you want to follow what people are doing, but yeah, really it's about being exceptional in everything that you do. So the second must have is to select something that you are passionate about. If you select a profession that you can tolerate and that you can continually invest in over time, each and every day, you can continuously improve. That is how you can eventually become successful. Nobody gets paid right away as soon as they graduate. No one's paying you to be here to be a student, actually. And it's the other way around. You're paying the university. So really, it's the same thing. You have to continue to be a student, learn from different sources, access different sources of information, online, offline. So I really think the networking events are going to be valuable because it's going to be something where as things change day to day, you can continuously learn and invest in your knowledge because no one can take away from what's up here. And it's the lightest luggage you'll ever carry, the knowledge. So, you know, continuous investment creates improvement, continuous improvement. And that's what you need to do, whether it's a business or whether it's a profession. You really need to look at everything with a critical eye, but also how can I create more value for the consumer? Yeah. Oh, one more thing. In order to know what to improve, the best way to actually know that is to ask for feedback, request feedback from your consumer, ask them what they're looking for, what they liked, what they didn't like. You know, it's hard to be criticized, but really, the criticism is what builds you up. It builds the foundation, and it builds anything that you build on top of the foundation. So it really is important to ask people for feedback because nobody is going to be perfect right away. Right now, probably there's something that I'm doing wrong right now, but you know, get the ball rolling is very important. Yeah. Choose work you would love to do even if you're not being paid. Even if you're not being paid. That's true. Because going back to the student thing, no one is paying you to be a student. You chose to be here. University of Toronto didn't come to your door and tell you, oh, you need to pay $8,000 in tuition fees or whatever you're paying. You know, it's something that people make a conscious decision. And nobody wants to go out and spend money, actually. And people buy what they really, really need. So in your career, in your profession, in your business, you really need to explain what it is that you can contribute, how you can deliver it, how it's going to be beneficial to the consumer. Okay? So let me ask you another question. What is your dream job? What is a job that you would like to do even if you weren't getting paid? Anything come to mind? I'll give you 5 seconds. Anything. No? Yes.
I would love to be able to like design spaces, like interior design and stuff. Also maybe something to do with like community and event planning.
Okay.
Those are really fun.
Okay.
Like planning like weddings, like stuff like that, you know?
Okay, cool. Interior design, are you thinking residential? Are you thinking commercial? Like
Residential, but also I like hotels,
mm.
like stuff like that.
Okay, oh, that's cool. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, that sounds great. You know, anything is possible in this world, but really you have to beat something called self-doubt. Self-doubt is the thing that you really, really need to not ignore, but you need to overcome it and say, these are the facts. These are the facts that are working for me, and these are the facts that are working against me. And then you have to make decisions based on those facts. So really, yeah, have an idea of where you're going. Don't wait for someone else, even a friend or family member. You can get inspiration from your friends or your family, but eventually you will be the ones make decisions. So yeah, it really is important because when you have the passion and when you're doing work that you would love to do, when you're not getting paid for it. Oh, do we have a visitor? Hello, hello, welcome. Hey. Oh, did that stop working because of the passcode, or what? Oh. Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so where was I? Actually, I was just talking about continuous improvement. It's very important. So the next part of this, oh yes, choose work that you would love to do. The third must-have. Okay, so I'm going through the must-haves of what I think make a successful career, successful business. So my name is Tezor Mogas, Tezera, and I'm starting this organization called East Africa Showcase. And the idea is networking events where anyone can come, I happen to be from Ethiopia as well, so I decided to call it East Africa. And so people can learn about the culture and people can learn about the talent and ingenuity of people from that part of the world. So, yeah, the third must have in terms of success, I would say concessions. Set realistic expectations because nobody gets 100% of what they want. Okay? In any negotiation, in any agreement, in any job, you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. You're going to expect things from people and they're not going to show up. They might intentionally abandon you, or they might just not show up. They might have something else. So, yeah, really set realistic expectations. And then, even in the worst case scenario, if everything goes wrong, I can still make something out of the opportunity. That's what I mean by concessions. And yeah, just nothing is 100%. Just remember that. So, your first job after graduating won't be perfect. So, let me ask you guys about jobs. What do you guys do for jobs? Are you guys just 100% student or?
No, we're students.
Okay, cool. But yeah, when you graduate, when you leave this place, really employers are looking for professionals. And so the first job that after graduating won't be perfect on pay. It won't be perfect on, I think I actually have a slide. Yeah, common scenarios. I thought about this. So pay is unlikely to be above $100,000 a year. Actually, it's very unlikely. You'd be lucky to get 50,000, to be honest. But yeah, people think that a degree is something that is going to get them somewhere, but it doesn't happen right away. So really, you have to make a concession on pay, weekend or evening shifts. If you know anyone in healthcare, someone that's a nurse, usually you don't see them on weekends. So yeah, 12-hour shifts, even if you're working 3 times a week, it's tough. It's tough. And longer travel times in terms of commuting, going to the job. You are applying for the job. The job doesn't come to you. You have to go to the job. So, yeah, and then also disputes with other staff, long-standing people. In every job that I've had, in total, I've had 7 jobs in Canada since I've been here. So I've been here since I was born. That's 30 years. And there's always been people I've had disputes with and people that, when they walk in the room, you're not so happy to see them, let's say. So, yeah, disputes with other staff. How do you manage those human relation issues? Because they were there before you, they have seniority. This is every job that I've had. Low-paying job, high-paying job, contract job, temporary job, permanent job. There's always been situations where it's just like, it's a really something that you want to fight hard on, but yeah, you have to concede sometimes. So, always invest in protection. Protection meaning when things go wrong, once again, you have a backup plan and you have somewhere that's going to move you forward to where you want to be. So, let me ask you another question. In terms of realistic expectations, what do you expect after you graduate this, whether you're graduating next year or 5 years from now? Like, what jobs are you expecting to get? Anyone? It's a voluntary thing. You guys don't have to answer, but.
Probably further education.
Okay. Sorry, could you say that again?
Further education.
Oh, further education. Okay. What are you thinking? In UofT or?
No.
Oh, somewhere else? Okay. What are you studying now?
I'm a on-site health and disease.
Okay. What brought you into the program? Was it your idea, your family's idea? Who was?
The university was my dad's idea, but the rest is my own.
Okay, cool. Yeah, nobody can tell you where you're going to be after you graduate. Maybe a week from now, you'll change your mind. You'll say, I want to go work. Maybe you'll say, I want to go back to UofT. Maybe you'll say, who knows? Really, the minds change a lot based on what's going on in life. But always think of safety and protection. Because if you don't think about safety, security, protection, no one else is going to think about that for you. Okay? No one. Even when it comes to being late. Being late, it might be Habesha culture back home, but here is not acceptable. You know, really, if someone's paying you to do something, you got to be there on time, early, hopefully, but at least on time. Yeah, there's really no excuse. Whether you've been there for 1 week or 20 years. Yeah, being late is not an excuse. So, what else did I put? Oh, okay. One other thing with disputes. Just remember, nobody wins in a conflict. Okay, both sides lose. And then you have to go to, what is it? A mediator? Mediator, someone who is impartial to resolve the dispute. But usually the mediator is like biased towards one side. And then, so whenever the decision gets made, you're going to say, you know, it's like going to court. When in court, there's always a winner and a loser. Somebody's feeling like, you know, they're getting slighted. So yeah, just remember, no one wins in a conflict when you're working your job. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you guys have group projects here? Like, how are they? You enjoy them or what? Like,
I think it depends. Like sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's just bad. Because like some people don't want to do like their work, so you're forced because you want that good like mark. You're forced to do their job and always argue with them to be like tell them to be on top of their stuff, but they're not listening, ignoring your messages. That's some of my experiences. So I don't like group projects at all.
Okay. Well, what do you study here? What do you study?
Public health and sociology.
Okay, cool. I'm health information management, so yeah, healthcare. It's always something, it's a collaborative effort and different professions, different specialties, and all these things. And that continues once you're working for a hospital or you're working for a clinic. Yeah, sometimes people become unresponsive. So yeah, just prepare yourself for when people become unresponsive. Yeah. This is like my favorite expression of all time. I think it comes from Plato or some philosopher. And it goes, a bird in hand is worth two in a bush. Okay, so what does that mean? A bird in hand means something you already possess is actually more valuable than something that, you know, somebody says it might become more valuable or you might become rich. Real estate right now. A lot of people think that real estate is the pathway to getting richer. But actually, the governments are saying, federal government, provincial governments, municipal government, they're all saying they want to build more homes. Because it's actually, you can't run the economy if 80% of people's wages are going to rent or mortgage. So it's actually unsustainable. So yeah, something has to give there. It's either rent prices are gonna stay where they are or there's gonna be an oversupply of housing. I don't think there will be an oversupply of housing, but, and then also there's immigration. So immigration has been slowed down. That was the last thing Justin Trudeau did, was slow down immigration after increasing it. So nobody knows what's gonna happen with real estate. But the idea of buying real estate to become richer, it's actually much easier to buy real estate than to sell it. Because when you want to sell it, everyone that lives in the house, everyone that lives in the residence needs to accept the offer. If one person says they don't want to move, they have like veto power. They can just cancel the whole thing. So then it becomes a fight there. And then also if you're renting out the apartment or you're renting out the basement, then it becomes a problem with that too. So yeah, just remember, a bird in hand is worth two in a bush. I can also talk to you about stock prices. I like stocks. I like companies. If you have extra money, probably it's a good idea to put money into the stock market, but you make money over time. You don't make money, you buy something 1 week, and then you sell it to somebody else next week, and then somebody posts something on the internet, on the news, and then you want to buy something else because it's going up. Yeah, it's the pathway to losing the bird in your hand, so what you already have. We all have blessings, actually. We all have things that we're gifted with. Whether it's a lot, whether it's enough, nobody knows, but yeah, just remember that expression. Okay, down to the last few slides. This is the last must-have. How do you feel so far? Are you liking this?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So this is the most important one, actually. I've saved the best for last. And so the last must-have, always be pleasant and trustworthy. Okay, always be pleasant. Because people will chase something that is pleasant, something that is pleasurable, but they will avoid something that is unpleasant, you know? So Your money always comes from the people, either directly or indirectly. Whether you're running a business, once again, I'll end with where I started. Your money either comes from your consumers or it comes from your sponsors. So your sponsors are paying you because they want you to say certain things. And that's how you get free events. But other than that, it's basically an admission fee. So that's why probably restaurants are a good business, because they're not going to give you the food unless you pay for it. But I think in Canada, we really have this idea that everything should be free. Maybe it has to do with healthcare and free healthcare. But the only way you're going to get quality is if you pay for quality. So, but your money always comes from the people, either directly or indirectly. The idea of working for the government, everyone can't work for the government. That will bankrupt this country, for sure, 100%, if we stick with that ideology. So, yeah, I really think business, anyone can create a business. Anyone can grow it from nothing into something, but it takes time to get the ball rolling, and the communication strategy needs to be there. Yeah. And also, people return to spend time and money by choice. So usually at the beginning, you don't actually want to charge anyone anything. You need to give them a free sample. You need to give them a taste of what they're getting. And then eventually, they make the choice to return. And then when they choose to return over and over on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, that's how you make money. Or even an hourly basis. That's how you make your money. And then they tell their friends, and then the networking effects come in. But that's a choice, okay? You might try something by accident. A friend told you, or you saw something on the internet. But returning to spend time and money, that is a choice. That is a choice. So, yeah. This is the last slide. So if you want more money in your job, in your business, in your profession, you will need to deliver more pleasant experiences to the people, to the consuming public. If you can do that, I really believe that you can be successful in whatever you decide to do. And that's all I have for today. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Any questions for me? I'll give you 10 seconds. Yes.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much.
So I had a question. So you were speaking a little bit about being pleasant. So
Yes.
what are some practical ways of implementing that into our lives?
Oh, that's a good question. You have good questions. I think tone is very important, because sometimes you're just pissed off with something that is completely unrelated to what you're doing here. But really having a pleasant tone, especially if you're meeting someone for the first time, first impression, even if you've known this person for 20 years, it's really important to just watch your tone, try to be as respectful as you possibly can, and don't let other external things damage the relationship with whoever you're talking to. Yeah, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a commercial relationship, whether it's a business relationship, whatever it may be, yeah, it's got to be the right tone. Yeah, no one wants to be disrespected. And sometimes, what's disrespectful to someone else might be nothing to you. But yeah, there are some signs, like, yeah, I really don't know specific signs, but I really just try to see what kind of questions. Oh, another thing is also questions, because sometimes they can be too intrusive, asking someone about their past and they don't want to disclose their past for whatever reason. And you got to respect that. Don't be too nosy. That's personally what I don't like. So, yeah, that's one way. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Like I'm graduating this year, right? So what would you advise me as somebody like now going into the job force or whatever it is? Like, what should I not tolerate like from employers, or like how do you think should I go? Like how should I go by like the job force? Like should I just accept any job that's like willing to take me in, or like even if it's very like low paying, should I still do that and move up, or like what do you suggest?
Good question. I think, my first job in a hospital was being a clerk of health records. So I was filing papers. And back then, it was actually $17.29. That's what I was getting. And right now it sounds like 17. No one would work for 17. But back then, 2014, it was like a lot of money actually. They were surprised that they gave me that much money. They were expecting to give me minimum wage, which was $14 an hour. I won't mention the name of the hospital, but yeah, so human resources is in charge of that. So they gave me $17.29. But I knew it wasn't going to be enough. But I said, and it was casual too, so no guaranteed hours. And basically, she makes a schedule as she wants, and she says, come in on this day, and then next week there might be no hours. But I said, back then I was very young. I was like 19 or 20. So yeah, I just took it. I really took it because, yeah, actually my first ever job was McDonald's at Toronto Eaton Center. It's still there actually. And yeah, that was low paying too. And a lot of Ethiopian people told me, why are you going to work at McDonald's? You should be working at somewhere more prestigious or whatever. But I said, it's actually the experience, which was so helpful because it taught me a lot about business and that people, no matter who is taking the orders or preparing the food at McDonald's, they're coming for two things. They're coming for great taste and they're coming for low prices, the lowest possible prices. So I wouldn't have got that experience if I wasn't there. So I would say take the lower paid jobs. And then while you're working, try to find other jobs. But of course, don't give them any indication that you're about to change jobs because you'll also need their reference. And the reference is so important because you can put your friends or your family on your reference, but what they're really going to look at is your last employer. So when they're going to look at your resume, most recent job, and then the reference from your most recent job. So I would say that is good. Just to even to build up your references. If it's a low-paying job, I would say take it. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So like, let's say once you're working there and then you find a better job, right? And then how do you sever the ties and still keep in like good contact?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, there's no good way to leave a job. Just like any relationship, like romantic relationship. Is there a good way to end a relationship? I don't think so. But eventually you just have to follow the facts once again and make sure that this new job is actually going to be better. Because sometimes a job can be paying more and then be more stressful. Or like, yeah, I would say do your homework on the new job before you change jobs. Or try to reduce your hours at your current job and then go to the new job so you can work both at the same time. I've heard of that. But yeah, eventually you just have to change it. And when you leave, there's no one's going to be happy. Just like if they fire you, if they terminate you from the job, you're not going to be happy either. But they have the right to do it. The Employment Standards Act, any job, any employer that hires you for cause or without cause has the same right to terminate your employment with or without cause with a certain time period. So yeah, it's the same way. If you decide to leave, they're not going to be happy. If they decide to terminate you, then you're not going to be happy. So yeah, there's no perfect way to manage that. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you.